metalheads, welcome to Graphic Metal, where metal is celebrated with design in mind. On today's episode, we are tackling a behemoth topic. What are the most memorable and impactful, important moments in heavy music history? To do this, I brought a few other fellow metalheads to the table so we can discuss in depth. This is a multi-episode series, with this being part one, the music. So with that, let's get heavy.
Right, so
Okay.
it's not like a moment, but Nirvana Nevermind.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good,
Like,
good one.
that is accessible. It was on MTV. It was on the radio. Everybody knew it. They're still selling T-shirts for it.
Yeah.
Like it brings.
I mean, it's one
it
of
got
the-
attention to metal, grunge, whatever, and probably introduced a whole generation.
Yep, I completely agree. I mean, it created also an entire new fashion trend and a subgenre on its own.
Right.
Grunge.
Yes.
Obviously.
Our rugged good looks, our charisma and charm.
No, Alice in Chains came technically before, and there's a number of bands that came before, but it's all about that album and the album cover. I mean, the album cover alone. I mean, now it became a whole controversy, and the kid, ended up actually suing several times. I think he finally won, and he got like a whole bunch of money.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. But that's kind of
Good for him and his
ridiculous.
weenus.
Exactly. Hey, are we gonna give credit to the pool? I mean, come on. I mean, what about the baby? Who cares about the baby?
What about the water?
Or the dollar bill? You know.
Alright, I'm gonna hot take it.
Okay. All right.
So I'm gonna go with Walk This Way
Oh, I know what you're going with this.
Aerosmith.
The
and Run DMC. Because that also created a whole different subgenre that
fair.
then turned into new metal.
Hold the phone though, because didn't the collaboration with Public Enemy and Anthrax come
That
first?
was it after?
How low can you go? Death row? What a brother, no. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal.
May have come first. I don't know. I'm not 100%
That was a
certain.
long time ago.
But
I
either
don't
way,
know.
both of them.
They're both
right. They're
ancient
both
at this
important
point.
for the same exact kind of reason. And
Aerosmith is way more
You would think
widespread
it-
and popular.
Not to mention that it was because wasn't it for one of the awards show? So instantaneously it hit. Whereas the Anthrax and Public Enemy, that was just a song that they did that they ended up releasing. They didn't even release it on an album. It was actually an EP for the Attack of the Killer Bees, and then live.
Oh, I
they
didn't
did it
realize
live.
that.
Yeah, it wasn't even on one of the albums.
So Walk This Way
So what-
came out in 86.
It did. It was first done. Then actually shifting back into with Nevermind. So we can first kind of group it into like some of the iconic albums, right? So there's
Right.
Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
Yep.
But the thing is that I agree with you that Nevermind like literally created an entire culture, an entire fashion trend, and 100% a new subgenre. Whereas as impactful and high selling as Appetite for Destruction was, I don't think it. I mean, it was just hard rock. It wasn't like it didn't. I mean, yeah, it had a little bit more of a punk attitude.
I don't think it changed anything.
I don't think it changed anything.
I think it was just like the harder side of hair metal.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So then, what about then the Black Album? Like between Black Album and Nevermind, I mean, which would we say? And again, this kind of falls into the Black Album probably was more impactful for like metal versus
Right.
so like then it becomes I mean, but the Black Album, I mean, you could even argue it did just as much for grunge as Nevermind. There is, of course, Master of Puppets, with its importance to Thrash, or of course, where it all began, Kill 'Em All. But those always get attention, and we are after a different culminant list, one where we eventually only get to choose 10 moments. So let's move on.
The Black Album was literally like a couple weeks before Nevermind.
Really?
Not only that, but I'm pretty sure like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sex, yeah, something like that. That came like right before, and then Guns N' Roses, Use or Lose It 1 and 2. All of them came out like literally weeks from each other.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's insane. Yeah. But those two, between those two, like which is a little bit more impactful?
Like on a grand scale, I'm still going Nirvana.
I think hasn't the Black Album actually sold more? Pretty sure it has.
No idea.
I mean, I've probably bought at least 6 copies of the Black Album over my life.
Fun fact, that's actually how I got into heavy music, is because of this dude and the cassette tape that had scribbles. It wound up being the Black Album. And what was I listening to?
From the kid down the street's uncle.
What was I listening to?
Chipper Gore's mad.
What was I listening to before you handed me that tape?
Oh, I don't know. Was it like CNC Music Factory or?
That's a good guess.
I mean, the surprise in all this is that this was only like 5 years ago.
Wait,
I
can't even play a tape for the last decade. Okay.
It's coming back. See people selling them on Bandcamp. I don't get it, but whatever.
We can come back to that. So what about some other really impactful albums?
I mean, I would say the Downward Spiral.
Okay, why?
I mean, I think that's what brought industrial to a more commercial state.
You think it was that one? Not even more than even Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah, I mean that by
yeah.
far and away. The
Downward Spiral
outsold
over
all of that.
Okay. What about Broken? Because I would challenge that Broken was when like he started doing like the really controversial music videos. In fact, they were
Well,
banned.
yeah, I mean the
Didn't
Broken
even-
album and the videos. I mean those were
They're
banned.
banned.
I mean that
They're
actually
banned.
caused the FBI to investigate.
Exactly.
But I mean, from an accessible, like something that was game changing. I mean, I think that the Downward Spiral was probably more game changing. If you want to talk from a shocking standpoint, then yeah, I mean, Broken and some of that stuff. I mean, but from actually like a release that changed.
That caused that thing.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
Right, the sweet spot. Something that's accessible enough to reach the masses, but also still edgy.
Yeah,
with
I mean, it was
attitude
being
and, like-
played in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Well, that was a big deal too, wasn't it? Like with those live shows at that time, was the whole like, are we really gonna do an afternoon show? Like, like 9 Inch Nails, like during the day, but it worked. And yeah,
I mean, it's like Marilyn Manson in the middle of the day. Nobody wants to see that.
that's true. Marilyn Manson, not probably no.
It's
not
like
as
a
impactful.
barbecue gone wrong.
Not as impactful. Hey, we've seen him a few times where he does
In the middle of the day.
He walks up, plays like a song, and is like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this."
Very, very few artists have I seen that have actually sat on the stage. He's one of the ones who took a little break, sat down on the stage.
Well, this could also have been because he needed to. like,
I couldn't stand up and belt out 60 minutes of music, but yeah.
All right, some shock. All right, so what about the debut by Venom? Very important. I mean, you do. Here we go. Okay, let's play a song. Black metal. Welcome to hell. There we go. Black metal. If this even plays.
Yeah, it sounds like it's recorded in a cave. I mean,
1980. This is 1980. 1980.
but like Celtic Frost was doing stuff at that time too.
Not as quick, not as early as that one. That one was the Well, okay. So then on that like kind of black metal side.
So when was Mayhem then?
That would be 93, 94, yeah. 92, 93, 94. But, I mean, Celtic Frost, I think that's a fair point. We talk about black metal, what about death metal? So we got death. I mean, bloody gore. Yeah.
I think I listened to it once and I'm like, I'm good.
I always sometimes make the case for Kreator. Almost kind of creating death metal.
That band, that Morbid Angel.
Morbid Angel. Well, that one, they're the one with the... I can visualize it.
So there's like a hand or something.
No, it's not the hand one. It's the one that's like it's blue and then it's got a circle, and inside the circle is like the melting of weird creatures. Something madness.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the big one. If I remember.
But I mean, they've been around forever, and they do it.
Raining Bloody Gore, I think it's 87. I think that one's 89. Maybe. Morbid Angel, Death. I mean, those are two iconic Death, metal originators. I would say people are a little bit more tied to Chuck and Death slightly, so I'd want to say that probably that one has to be on the list.
See, I'm the opposite. I like Morbid Angel more.
Okay, can't really go wrong with either of them. What about Napalm Death? 89. Napalm Death,
but isn't it? That's like a weird
grindcore.
It's grindcore. It's punk at times. It's.
They fuse a lot of things. That's a pretty big deal. What about the next?
They were going like speed metal, right?
No, it is speed metal, but even speed metal, I would say, like has punk.
Yeah, well, it is, 100%. Yeah, I mean, but then what about punk? What about like maybe like? Well, I mean, MC5 technically was the originator, but Ramones. Sex Pistols.
I was more of Dead Kennedys.
Well, that's a little bit later, but I agree. The Clash, even though they're not necessarily straight up, they were I mean, Sublime is hugely iconic, but I don't know if I could necessarily say that.
I didn't really get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like Misfits.
Misfits, pretty fairly big deal.
Dookie?
Dookie, for the sake of it? Okay.
I mean, the genre existed long.
Exactly. But it is one of the highest selling. It is. I mean, it's pop punk.
Yeah, it's kind of got the same qualities as Nirvana has.
Although you could,
in terms of introducing and bringing people into that type of music.
Well, I would also throw in, if you're going to go to that level, I would argue that Smash by Offspring is even more important because that is the highest selling independent record label, highest selling ever.
That is a mighty fun album, though. I forgot about that.
Hey rockers, I'm Veer Von Wright, the creator of Graphic Metal. Hope you've enjoyed this episode so far. If you have, consider donating to us in order to keep this channel going. As always, remember to like, subscribe to be kept in the loop, and to help out the YouTube algorithm. And if you think that others would enjoy this, share it. Now back to our scheduled program.
Long live rock. Certain that a crap load of bands, including even like Metallica and whatnot, like they have been on record saying about the importance of Venom. Right, because the only other band that has as much of a moment when it comes to like the super extreme would have to be Lemmy and Motorhead. You could make a case for the fact that the moment when Lemmy gets fired by Hawkwind was his band he was a part of, and then he got fired, and then he ends up creating Motorhead and Punks. It's kind of crazy. The reactions are the most powerful thing.
I don't really know that story, but
okay.
Motorhead definitely.
He showed up at Otto's.
Because Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, they were straight up new wave of British heavy metal / heavy metal. They weren't doing any. They had the vibe like Judas Priest and had the whole attitude and the leather and whatnot. I mean, speaking of them, I don't even know if you could put a Judas Priest album on the list. I mean, they were. Because it's more of the theme that they brought and the attitude and but it wasn't like there's not a singular. I mean, maybe
I still put that
British
next to like Billy Idol.
But what I would say is that
I'm not much of a Judas Priest fan.
Okay, other debuts. Korn's debut.
Yeah.
Impactful for new metal.
Korn.
Yeah.
Thanks to you definitely introduced me into that one.
As Korn, like when Korn was first released, when did that come out? In relation to Limp Bizkit.
Well, way before.
We're talking way before.
That's good. Tell Korn definitely. It's 94. Limp Bizkit was 90. Their debut Dollar Bills was 97. Yeah, that's it.
Although, for whatever
Linkin
reason.
Park, I mean, it was big, but I don't know if I could classify that as being.
I mean, it's new metal, right? I bet you that it's sold boatloads.
Oh, it's 100% is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally one of the top dogs. Yeah. But then actually, with that system of down, Toxicity was a really big deal because that one did. Oh, I got
Yeah,
one.
but
I got
System
they
of a
got
Down,
like
System
awards
of a-
for System of for Toxicity, didn't they?
Sorry, what was that?
They got awards like
Oh, yeah.
Grammy.
Grammy or
Yeah. Well, I know it debuted. It was in the top 200, debut #1 for 2 weeks. That was a big deal. But I got like the ultimate. The ultimate though is well, not lower display of power, but
Far Beyond Driven.
The most important. Like, I mean, that one was extreme metal, and that was #1. The only one. I mean, okay, Slipknot,
Slipknot's
borderline. Iowa, that one debuted #1. I want to say one of the fastest platinum selling, but I don't know if and it didn't bring anything new like necessarily. I mean, kind of ish, but not really.
The first Slipknot album was impactful, but not as impactful as probably the first Korn album.
Yeah,
Who was
Yeah,
that
for
producer?
sure.
That producer did like all of those. It was like Ross Robinson or something.
Ruben.
No, Rick
Rubin.
Rubin did some stuff, but Ross Robinson was like the guy who did a bunch of those. Fear Factory Concrete, 91.
Okay, yeah.
Korn,
Okay.
Deftones Adrenaline,
Oh, okay. All right.
Sepultura Roots,
Yeah. Okay.
Korn Life is Peachy, Limp Bizkit $3 Bill Y'all,
Oh.
Soulfly.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, we get the point.
Vanilla Ice is coming. Slipknot's first album, Slipknot. Glassjaw, At the Drive-In, Slipknot Iowa, Snot. Remember them?
Yeah.
They
Alive.
saw them
That
open
was a
for
big deal,
Pantera and Slayer or
That's
something
true.
like
Yeah.
that.
So kind of pretty much the definition sound of new metal. Interesting. I haven't gotten so far into my weeds of research for new metal. I didn't realize that there was that impactful of a particular producer. What about Van Halen's debut? That was, somebody said, a huge deal.
I can't say I've even listened to it.
Well, I mean, it predates a little bit of.
I mean, I would say Creedence Clearwater Revival is probably more important.
Oh my.
But I think
John Fogerty and
But-
Creedence is still outselling stuff right now.
Okay, but we're not purely talking about just pure sales. I mean, Eruption.
It's swamp rock.
But yeah, I mean, I don't dis. I mean, we got to go farther back pretty soon. But staying at that level, I mean, the Eddie Van Halen's guitar playing kind of revolutionized that next wave. I mean, that was '77. That was like that kind of next tier. And that was, I mean, everybody's been on record saying about him. Or it's in
Jimi Hendrix more than.
But the extra faster playing. I mean, all the other ones were more blues. Actually, no. Okay,
Even like
all right.
Venom and others were doing speed metal.
I'll give you the most impactful. Iommi, but Iommi specifically his incident. Remember, he had the accident that caused his fingers. He had to wear the thimbles, and that was what caused the sound, the vibration sound on Black Sabbath. And that, I mean, that has to be like tip of the iceberg, because that whole sound became proto metal and therefore then metal, right?
Yeah, I mean, Black Sabbath has to be included.
And that would be like,
And where's Deep Purple in there then?
Deep Purple. Specifically, Head, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that one's the big one. I would still say Black Sabbath is more impactful, especially when it comes to metal. I would think so. although Highway Star is extremely. I mean, that's like proto thrash. So okay, all right. Anything in the early days? What? I mean, we're not gonna throw like Beatles in there, are we gonna? Because we're gonna stay with the heaviest.
I mean, we're not going to talk about Revolver?
Are we gonna?
The White Album?
Elvis?
Wait. Elvis Revolver?
Let's stay away from Elvis.
Because otherwise, then it gets way too. Well, okay, Chuck Berry though. If we're gonna throw but the rockabilly guy, the guy that did the surf rock, the fast pace, like he would probably be. I'm drawing a blank on. He's like 55, 58 kind.
Oh.
Dick Dale.
That's a rabbit hole.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, how about then?
That's when he made it in life.
Yeah.
You could make a case for Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah, sure.
right? I mean, Queen in general.
Yeah, how far back do you want to go? And how,
But specifically
like,
that
abstract do you
song
want to be?
but was very theatrical and bombastic and therefore very metalish, and then the iconic, scene with that in the Wayne's World with the car.
Oh, that's right.
And just, I mean, how freaking iconic that song is and has forever been.
I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo.
I mean, the Muppets nailed it.
Yeah. But Kermit does a version of whatever the thing is. You know you made it. It's pretty darn good. You made it. It's like a dead giveaway.
End of chapter 1. But our journey continues with part 2, where we give you our moments, but specifically from a branding and cultural standpoint. That video will be in the upper right in just a moment. Part 3, where we debate and narrow down said list, will be in the upper left. And finally, in part 4, where we give you the best of the best, our top overall selections, will be in the lower left. I'm Peter Von Wright. You've been watching Graphic Metal. Until next time, cheers and keep on rocking.